So guys, it's awfully hot in here, it really is. I've been let down. I tell the truth, I get punished for it. How many people would have said that they just had a dog or something and just moved into the property? I believe in telling the truth. So we won't be moving. No, but I'm sure there'll be other properties that become available, but you get penalised for telling the truth. I got penalised for telling the truth in a court of law, while other people present told lies. That's life. And I will always remain to be a good person. So I wanted to read this piece out. I helped unmask the King of Trolls. What it says. Excuse me. I helped unmask the King of Trolls. Of all the celebrities viciously attacked on the toxic gossip website TATTLELIFE, few suffered as much as Lauren Goodman and her children by England star Kyle Walker. Here she reveals the abuse gave her panic attacks and even led to calls from social services before she secured a delicious revenge when the site's founder was publicly outed this week. This is the site where a troll targeted me. TATTLELIFE. They targeted me and ripped my videos and made fun of them. And this is by Katie Hines. The endearing photo showed two children lying together on a cosy rug with a book, taken from behind to conceal their faces. Proudly posting it on social media was nothing out of the ordinary for self-styled mumfluencer Lauren Goodman, but she could never have imagined the bile it would attract. She was devastated to discover that the snap had been doctored and posted on the notorious gossip website TATTLELIFE. The NSPCC logo had been pasted at the top of the photo, along with the children's charity's phone number. Alongside a giggling emoji. Oh, I hate those emojis. They do that to me on TikTok. Alongside a giggling emoji, the anonymous troll had written, "It's one edit away from an NSPCC advert." It was part of an ongoing hate campaign against Lauren, accusing her of mistreating them. She had fallen victim to this level of sustained bullying ever since the story broke of her having had two children with married England footballer Kyle Walker. A story that last year was never far from the front pages. Someone took the picture and edited it to put the NSPCC logo on it. Lauren, 32, told the Mail yesterday in an exclusive interview. They said that Cairo and Kinara were being neglected and treated badly. They even said that I wasn't feeding my children properly and there was just no repercussions. It was disgusting and so horrible about them. I couldn't eat, I felt sick and I was filled with anxiety. I got heart palpitations, I felt like I was having a panic attack. Lauren describes the slurs as the work of keyboard warriors who flock to TATTLELIFE, a toxic website which has gripped 12 million unique users every month since it was founded 8 years ago and became famous for its savage attacks on influencers and celebrities. And they attack me. The site claims to allow commentary and critiques of people who choose to monetize their personal life. In reality, it is an unchecked breeding ground for bullying, doxing, where individuals' private details such as addresses and telephone numbers are published online, and outright lies. The attack about my children was horrible. Members of the public are allowed to post anonymously about anyone they want, saying anything they like, no matter how damaging. The horror of it was too much for some, many self-harming and suffering from mental health problems. High-profile targets include Victoria and David Beckham, TV presenter Stacey Solomon, Love Island's Molly May Hague, and Tamara Ecclestone and her husband Jay Rutland. This week, founder Sebastian Bond, who had remained anonymous since TATTLELIFE's launch, was finally unmasked after a couple won a £300,000 libel payout over vile claims posted about them on the website. The court heard how vegan blogger Bond37 went to some lengths to hide his identity and connection to the site. He used different names and disguised his operations behind businesses based in locations across the world. Tech entrepreneur Neil Sands and his wife Donna, who runs a popular clothing brand called Silky and is a fashion influencer with 26,000 Instagram followers, were awarded the damages for defamation and harassment after a court heard they were the target of a 45-page thread and were traumatised by the website. Things got so bad for the couple, who live in County Antrim, that Donna was signed off work as she had such paranoia that someone was going to break in and kill me and my unborn baby. Lauren says she formed an alliance with the couple, having met through an Instagram chat group called Tattle Unmasked, which tries to reveal the identity of anonymous posters. It was through this community that Lauren got to know Neil and Donna, and along with Jay Rutland formed a WhatsApp group with the aim of trying to uncover the identity of the founder who had profited from the vicious trolling for so long. Lauren says, we did so much work, it was like something from a thriller movie. We were going from clues linked to businesses, company's house, to addresses where Sebastian Bond previously lived, where he went to university. We were just following loads of trails. We couldn't believe we did it, and it was amazing how it was coming together. It was at the High Court of Justice in Northern Ireland last week that reporting restrictions which prevented Bond being named were lifted. We knew months before the court case, says Lauren, but we couldn't say anything. We did put an AI picture of him on Instagram to play him at his own game. The image of him went onto my thread on Tattle, but within seconds the bots removed all trace of him. We knew we had him then. Lauren's nightmare experience with TATTLELIFE began in 2020 when lockdown kicked in. She was pregnant with Cairo, now 5, her oldest child with Kyle. He had been conceived while the Manchester City defender was on a break from wife Annie Kilner. It started with contributors to Tattle saying that she was an escort who was paid to go to Hong Kong to have sex. Once her son was born in April of that year, her relationship with Walker became headline news and the floodgates opened. She says, they have called my children so many nasty, nasty things which I don't ever want to say because it's so disgusting. They use terms for children born out of wedlock, horrible terms that you shouldn't refer any child by. They're innocent, they're minors, and it's sick. People claimed I was paid to have sex. I can't understand why anyone would do this to kids. They think they are funny, but there is nothing funny about it. What have my children done to deserve this? Take away my part in the mess. What have they done? It's a form of harassment. Unfortunately for Lauren, who was last year rarely out of the headlines following a relationship with Kyle, things got worse. TATTLELIFE users became so intent on trolling her that they phoned social services to say she wasn't looking after Cairo and her daughter Kinara properly. I have never wanted to speak about this before, says Lauren. I was so embarrassed, but people from Tattle were anonymously ringing social services. They say it on the website too, things like, she's going to be getting a call from social services. And the next thing, I get one. In fact, there have been 2 calls from social services to say that I don't care for my children properly, which is just horrible. They say my children aren't loved, but they are. They get hugs all the time and I read a book to them every night. They said stuff like I don't feed them, and when Cairo was a baby, they said I was starving him. I mean, I was exclusively breast pumping to give him breast milk at all hours. It was horrible. It was mean and totally unacceptable. Lauren was also upset when Kinara's name, which she had kept private from everyone except her very close friends and family, appeared on TATTLELIFE. There were so few people who knew her name, it was not public information. It was on no public record, so nobody could find it. So of course you start to wonder, who is telling people things? Inevitably, it's caused trust issues for me. It makes me paranoid. It gave me anxiety and it changed me. I used to be outgoing, but now I'm a nervous wreck. Then there was the stalking. People would say, go on Tattle and say, I saw Lauren here, or she goes to this coffee shop, and maybe you'll see her if you go there, she says. It's weird and it's scary. Lauren also says that she has had her medical records mentioned on the website. Her medical records. There have also been the accusations on TATTLELIFE that she has taken drugs, with comments such as being on the snowflake, or that she is off her head on the gear, both terms for cocaine. Though Lauren insists she has never taken drugs, TATTLELIFE users have also caused influencers and celebrities to lose work with brands. They contact the companies and point out bad things about people, and then they get dropped, and that means they lose money. This is affecting people's livelihoods and it isn't fair, said Lauren. It has affected so many people. It even affected my family badly, every single member of it, because it spreads out so far. It's extreme and unnecessary, but those saying it think they can get away with it because they are safe and their identities are hidden and nobody will ever find out who they are. Lauren became an even bigger target for the trolls in December 23 when she sent a text to Kyle's pregnant wife Annie, 32, to inform her that her husband was the father not just of her son but her baby daughter too. The message sparked the biggest off-pitch football scandal of 24, if not the decade, and Annie threw Kyle 34 out of their $4 million Cheshire mansion. He licked his wounds in a more modest apartment nearby, leaving their marriage hanging by a thread. Next came a court battle where Lauren fought to get the same benefits for her children as Kyle's children with wife Annie. This included an AstroTurf football pitch for daughter Kinara, as Lauren wanted her to be a lioness. Today, now the situation has calmed down, Lauren believes that TATTLELIFE contributed to the saga and painted her in an unflattering light. Lauren said, I feel like it has impacted on me in quite a lot of ways, not just defamation and libel issues. But it has contributed to the circus and the narrative of the saga with Kyle. Lauren is very fired up when I speak to her. In fact, so enraged and scarred was she that she chose to follow in her fellow wag Colleen Rooney's footsteps by doing her own Wagatha Christie work to uncover the identity of those posting vile accusations about her. That's when she joined Tattle Unmasked, where she met Neil and Donna. Following their successful legal action, Lauren is planning to follow suit. She is in conversation with lawyers about the next steps she will take, but has very much been inspired by the couple and says it wouldn't have been feasible without them, describing them as heroes. She is also in discussions with the Information Commissioner's Office about how her personal data is being used, and she is urging anyone who has been affected by TATTLELIFE to contact them and log a complaint. Then the regulators will have to look at it, says Lauren. I also have a case with the Metropolitan Police. Those people are keyboard warriors. They feel so safe behind it and that they have anonymity. They take it too far and they say things they would never ever say to you if they saw you, and they feel safe enough to go down this dark path without realizing the repercussions on other people. I think people are blurring the lines. Yes, have an opinion, that's fine, that's free speech, but when you're trolling en masse, when you're posting private details about people, including addresses of people's children, details a person hasn't made public, there is medical data. I had to go cold turkey and not look. It's the only way you can survive that website. I think people have self-harmed. I have heard one person has taken their own life. But Lauren has a warning. People sign up with a made-up name. They can make a fake account and they think they are safe, but they are going to be found out. They don't realise that the software is now around to find out who's those people, and they will no longer be anonymous. Ultimately, she's determined to have the website shut down so that Cairo and Kinara, who turns 3 in August, will never have to see the awful comments made about them when they are older. A lot of people have left Tattle because they are scared of being found out. But there is no way I want my children to ever see those horrid things written about them. And that's why I'm determined to put an end to TATTLELIFE for good. This is just the start. That's Lauren. She's pretty, isn't she? Well, in my case, one of my children actually phoned up to tell me that they'd found this site. One of my children found this site. Mum, did you know that these awful things have been written about you? And they'd stolen my videos and they'd made fun of things I was talking about, like sexual abuse and rape. They were making fun of it. And I reported it to the Kent police, and what did the Kent police do? Absolutely nothing. But thanks Daily Mail for highlighting this. I highlighted TATTLELIFE, and no one did a thing to help me at all. See you later.